Hi, welcome to The Passionate Spinner. My name is Tracy, and it's been a while again, but I have stuff to share because it was Tour de Fleece, and I spun a few things. So let's talk about that. I'm really happy with my result. I managed to spin 2 sweater quantities, three single skeins, and 3 yard yarns. I'm just gonna start with the yard yarns because they are on top of everything. I don't have any labels to show you because I have no idea where I put them. So yeah, let's see. Okay, first art yarn that I spun was this one here. It's a bit of a failure. So as we are honest here on this channel, it didn't turn out as I wanted it to turn out. So what I did, all of my art yarns are core spun this year. So this is core spun auto wrap and then plied into coils, right? And I used 3 different threads for the auto wrap, and you know, I loved the idea, but it just didn't turn out that well. So first of all, I ran out constantly of my colors. So this is plied or auto wrapped in like 6 different colors. And it's just, because of the metallic thread that I used for the auto wrap, it just feels very crunchy. And yeah, it just didn't turn out all that well. Also, it's not focusing at all. So I'm not sure what you can see, but this is 10 meters, which is 11 yards, and the yarn weighs 62 grams. So this is one of my art yarns. And yeah, I will use this for teaching purposes, you know, but I consider this a fail. Then next one, my favorite. I think this turned out so well. It's another core spun auto wrap coil yarn, which is just something that I love to do. And it's just so pretty. So this was a bat from, no idea. Like I said, I didn't bring any labels and I just do not know from the top of my head. Yeah, it was a bat. It's perfect. I really like how this one turned out. It's super pretty. I, again, used metallic thread for the auto wrap, but this time I only used 1 thread. And that is perfect. It's so gorgeous. It's so pretty. So this is 14 meters. That's 15 yards. And it weighs 115 grams. That is a chunky yarn. But pretty. So pretty. When I was spinning, so throughout all of Tour de Fleece, I did daily vlogs on my Patreon with my spinning and short tutorials on how I do this and how I do that. So if you're interested, go check that out. But I was asked over on Patreon if I had a plan for this, and I kept saying, no, I don't. But I do have an idea for this. There's a textile artist I follow on Instagram, and she has woven fox masks for decoration. And I kind of want to try doing something like that because the colors just, they are foxy, right? Yeah, that's my idea. I'm going to try doing that. When? No one knows. Okay, last of the art yarns is very colorful. It's this one here. And it is another core spun auto wrap, but this time I spiral plied it. So you can see the difference between the coils and the spiral ply. It's a very different structure to the yarn. And you also, when you do coils, you lose a lot of your yardage because of, you know, how you do the coils. With this one, you don't. So this one has, I mean, still not a lot. This is 25 meters, that's 27 yards, and it weighs 47 grams. I did a core spun again. I auto wrapped it with the same brown thread that I used for this one here. But then I spiral plied this with a red metallic thread. I really like it. I get asked a lot what I'm going to do with the art yarns. And the question, the answer to that is nothing. I enjoy spinning art yarn, but I have no use for it because it's not something I would put in a sweater. It's just not what I want in a sweater. It's not me, right? So a few years ago, I think it was during Tour de Fleece, I said to my husband, you know, oh, I really want to do art yarn, but I don't know what to do with it afterwards because it's not me. It's not my style to use that. And he just looked at me, he's like, but that's not the point. The point is you want to do that art yarn, and that is the creation. There's no use, and there does not have to be a use for it afterwards. It already has fulfilled its purpose because you wanted to create that yarn. That is my mindset now. I have absolutely no use for any of those art yarns except for the orange brownie one, where I want to try that weaving for the fox mask. The other art yarns I spin, I have absolutely no use for because like I said before, it's just not me. It's not my style. But I don't have to use them. I spun them. That was what I wanted to do. That was the hobby, you know? And yeah, that's how I live life now. Okay, so we've done the art yarns. Let's go into the single skeins. I have 3 single skeins. I'm going to show them to you all at once. Then we will talk about them. So here they are. These are my 3 single skeins. And I'm going to start with the one I spun first. So this one here was the first, was it the first yarn I spun for the, yes. It was the first yarn I spun for Tour de Fleece this year. And this is a 50-50 merino silk. And I know that because I just bought this at Knit at Motoko in May. This is from Villain. And it's a 2-ply. All of my yarns are 2-ply. And this is 144 meters, which is 157 yards, and weighs 107 grams. And it was one of those, I want to do a fast and dirty spin to have something done. That's what this is. My fast and dirty. I spun this on the Luette S45. All of the art yarns were spun and plied on my Maya Craft Rose. Okay, now here. Spun on the S45, plied on the Michi von Schwarzenstein, which is a German-built wheel, but it is not built anymore because the man who built them had a stroke, I think, and he doesn't build wheels anymore. So I'm sorry about that, but you're gonna hear about that. I plied everything on that wheel. Let's just say it. Okay, so this one here. First single skein of the tour. Next single skein was this one here. And this is spun long draw from Rolex. I spin long draw about once a year for Tour de Fleece. I don't know. I just, you know, my go-to spinning style is short forward draw. And this is spun long draw, and I'm always not so happy that it isn't even enough. And I know that if I practiced more and I would do it more, it would get more even, but you know. So here it is. Spun long draw on the sidekick and then plied on the Michi. And in the end, I quite like it. I think it turned out really nice. So this is 198 meters, which equals 216 yards, and it is 120 grams. So it's a perfect worsted weight yarn in a woolen spun way. And it is very nice and lofty and fluffy. I have no idea what to do with it. I will use it for probably some kind of color work in the future. So that's that. The Rolex, I have no idea where they came from. They were in my stash without a label. So there's that. And then shortly before the tour ended, I decided I needed something else on my wheel. And the last 2 days I spent creating this yarn here. And this is BFL fiber from Ätherische Öle und Meer, which is a German indie dyer. And I got 184 meters. That's 201 yards, and it weighs 109 grams, which is another nice worsted weight skein. So basically all of my single skeins are worsted weight, which I like. So this is just, again, a normal 2-ply. And nothing special to say about this. I spun this on the Sidekick, plied it on the Michi, and I'm really happy with it. So now we have 2 sweater quantities. First one I'm going to show you is this one here. So I just love this. There's a long story to this. I started this last year during Tour de Fleece. So I spun 2 bobbins last year, and I had to spin 2 bobbins this year. The thing is, where is that? Where's my information about it? Okay, so all in all, this yarn has 986 meters. That is 1,078 yards, and it weighs 460 grams. So it's a DK weight, I would say. Like I said, I spun 2 bobbins last year. I spun the other 2 bobbins this year. This was spun on my Schacht Sidekick, and again plied on the Michi. And this yarn here was spun from bats that I created for my video that I called, what did I call that? Combo Spin Beyond the Sliver, I think is the video. Where I showed you how to create a combo spin out of different braids, like the original, like the OG combo spin. But this time I then blended those tops on my carder into bats that I then pulled into roving to spin up this yarn. In the video, I show you all of the steps, how to do that, how I created the bats, how I then pulled into roving, and I even spun a sample and knit up a swatch that I also show in that video. So I now, over a year later, have the finished yarn for that. Which is good, because for the OG combo spin, I have never finished spinning that. So here it is, first sweater quantity done. It felt a bit like cheating because I had spun half of it beforehand, but you know, I just love this so much. This dark purple and green and brown is just very pretty. So that's the first sweater quantity. The second sweater quantity is my favorite spin of the tour. After that coil yarn, but this just turned out so gorgeous. I am really happy with that. So all of this fiber, I know, was from Fat Cat Knits. Fat Cat Knits used to be my absolute favorite dyer, right? And I bought a lot of her fiber when shipping from America to Germany was still affordable. And here's the yarn. I mean, oh, look at it. It's so pretty. So this was spun from 4 tops, and they were in 2 different colors. So I had 2 of one color, 2 of the other color. And what I did was I spun everything onto a bobbin, not 1, 4, 4 tops, 4 bobbins. And then I applied color A and color B together. And this is what I ended up with. This is 1,565 meters, which is 1,711 yards, and it weighs 453 grams. So this is a fingering weight, and it's perfection. I am so happy with this. Like, so happy with this. I think this might be one of my best spins that I ever made. I'm going to show them to you. 2 and 2, because I'm just so happy. This is just, this will become a sweater for me, 1,000%. I at first thought I might knit a sweater with a white mohair, but now I don't think so. I will probably go like the easiest route possible and knit a flex light, because it's just, oh, it's so pretty. It is so pretty. I'm so happy with this. And this was spun on the Sidekick. And again, plied on the Michi. And it's just, this is just so pretty. Yeah, I'm super happy with that. So now that I've showed you everything, I ended up in total with 3,126 meters of finished yarn. That is 3,416 yards and 1,473 grams, which is like, I think about 3 pounds. And I love everything. I'm so happy with what I got finished. The other, I still have 2 yarns that I have to finish. So this bobbin here is from the Michi, and it holds this yarn. This will be another combo ply. So this was braid A, and I have braid B still to spin. And it will be definitely a fingering weight, probably even thinner when it's plied, because these are very thin singles. I mean, like thin singles, right? Can you see from the thread sweater? But I'm done for now. And I have another yarn on my S45, which is actually the second half of this braid. So this here was created from a braid, and I used up almost half of it for this skein. And then after running out once again of all of my metallic threads, I decided to just stop, you know? So I had a bit more than half of this braid of fiber left, and I put it on the S45 and I'm spinning it, and it is thinner than this one. So this other yarn will be a lace weight. And I'm not interested in either of those things right now, you know? After spinning like a maniac for, how long is Tour de Fleece? 3 weeks? I'm done for now. I do this every year for Tour de Fleece. I go all out, and after I just don't touch my wheels for a while. And that's okay. It's okay. This is how I do it. So I'm going to try once more to show you everything at once. Will it work? I do not know. So here's my notebook, right? And yeah, I know my brain just jumped to a completely different place. But this has been my notebook for last year's Tour de Fleece that I had to stop spinning for after day 9 because I got COVID and I was really sick for a while. But last year I spun, let's check because I'm interested in knowing. So last year during Tour de Fleece, I finished 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 skeins. I finished 12 skeins in 9 days, but some of that was started beforehand. And this year I managed to finish 14 skeins during the whole tour. I feel like, yeah, well, it doesn't matter. I finished 14 skeins. I'm super happy with them. I think they turned out great. I was spinning every day. Yes, but I had 2 days where I spun for like 20 minutes and 1 day where I spun for an hour because we were we weren't here. Okay, now let's try. How am I going to do this? Because I want to carry all of them. This is gonna get interesting. If you've been here before, you know that I am a bit special sometimes. This is one of those occasions. I want to show all of them at once. I want to hold all of them at once as well. Okay, now I have them in my arm, but I don't know how to hold it up. Okay, okay. Ta-ta! Here they are. All of my yarns from Tour de Fleece this year. I am happy. I mean, I really am happy. Now I need to try and take a thumbnail picture like this as well. I can do it. So this is it for my video. Like I said, if you want to see me spin all of these, explain how I do long draw, how I do core spinning, how I apply coils, how to spiral ply. What else did I do? How to attach fiber after break, how to reattach while plying if it breaks, a close-up of how I spin, a close-up of how I ply, If you want to see any of those things, check out the Patreon, because you will be able to see all of that. And now I'm going to let you go. I hope you all had a wonderful July, a great Tour de Fleece if you're a spinner. And I hope to be back with like normal podcast episodes soon, because I finally feel like crafting again, which means that I have stuff to show. So I'm going to say goodbye. See you next time. Bye.